On chapter 52. Christianity also stands opposed to every spirit that has turned out well. It can use only sick reason as Christian reason. It sides with everything idiotic. It utters a curse against the spirit, against the superbia of the healthy spirit. Because sickness is of the essence of Christianity, the typical Christian state faith must also be a form of sickness, and all straight, honest, scientific paths to knowledge must be rejected by the church as forbidden paths. Even doubt is a sin. The complete lack of psychological cleanliness in the priest betrayed by his eyes is a consequence of decadence. One should observe hysterical females and children with a tendency to rickets to see how regularly instinctive falseness, the inclination to lie in order to lie, and the incapacity for straight glances and steps are the expression of decadence. Faith means not wanting to know what is true. Faith means not wanting to know what is true. The pietist, the priest of both sexes, is false because he is sick. His instinct demands truth not be conceded its right at any point. Whatever makes sick is good. Whatever comes out of fullness, out of superabundance, out of power, is evil. Thus feels the believer, having no choice but to lie. From that I can see at a glance if a man is a predestined theologian. Another sign of the theologian is his incapacity for philology. What is here meant by philology is, in a very broad sense, the art of reading well, of reading facts without falsifying them by interpretation, without losing cautions, patience, delicacy in the desire to understand. Philology as effexis in interpretation, whether it is a matter of books, the news in a paper, destinies, or weather conditions, not to speak of the salvation of the soul. The manner in which a theologian in Berlin as in Rome interprets a verse of scripture or an event, for example, a victory of the armies of the fatherland, in the higher light of the Psalms of David, is always so audacious that a philologist can only tear his hair. And what is he to do when pietists and other cows from Swabia, with the aid of the finger of God, transform the wretched every day in the parlor smoke of their existence into a miracle of grace, of providence, of experiences of salvation? Even the most modest expenditure of spirit, not to speak of decency, would suffice to bring these interpreters to the point of convincing themselves of the utter childishness and unworthiness of such an abuse of the dexterity of the divine fingers. Possessing even the tiniest bit of piety in the body, we should find a God who cures a cold at the right time, or bids us enter a coach at the very moment when a violent rainstorm begins. Such an absurd God that we should have to abolish him if he existed. A God as servant, as mailman, as calendar man, at bottom a word for the most stupid of all accidents. Divine providence of the kind in which approximately every third person in educated Germany still believes would be an objection to God so strong that one simply could not imagine a stronger one. And in any case, it is an objection to the Germans. Chapter 53. That martyrs prove anything about the truth of a matter is so far from true that I would deny that any martyr ever had anything whatsoever to do with truth. The tone with which a martyr throws his considering something true into the face of the world expresses such a low degree of intellectual integrity, such an obtuseness for the question of truth, that one never needs to refute a martyr. Truth is not something which one person might have and another not have. Only peasants and peasant apostles like Luther can think that way about truth. One may be sure that moderation in this matter becomes greater in proportion to the degree of conscientiousness in matters of the spirit. To have knowledge of 5 matters, and to refuse with a gentle hand to have other knowledge. Truth, as the word is understood by every prophet, every sectarian, every free spirit, every socialist, every churchman, is a perfect proof that not even a beginning has been made with that discipline of the spirit, that self-overcoming which is needed if any small, however small, truth is to be found. The deaths of the martyrs, incidentally, have been a great misfortune in history. They seduced the inference of all idiots, woman and the people included, that there must be something to a cause for which someone goes to his death, or which even, like early Christianity, generates death-seeking epidemics. This inference has immeasurably thwarted examination, the spirit of examination and caution. The martyrs have harmed truth. Even today, it takes only the crudity of a persecution to give an otherwise completely indifferent sectarianism an honorable name. How? Does it change the value of a thing if someone gives his life for it? An error that becomes honorable is an error which is that much more seductive. Do you believe, my dear theologians, that we would give you an occasion to become martyrs for your lie? One refutes a matter by laying it respectfully on ice. That is how one also refutes theologians. This precisely was the world historical stupidity of all persecutors, that they gave the opposing cause the appearance of being honorable, that they gave it the fascination of martyrdom as a gift. Even today, woman lies on her knees before an error because she has been told that somebody died on the cross for it. Is the cross an argument? But about all these things, only one man has said the word, which was needed for thousands of years: Zarathustra. They wrote signs of blood on the way they walked, and their folly taught that with blood one proved truth. But blood is the worst witness of truth. Blood poisons even the purest doctrine and turns it into delusion and hatred of the heart. And if a man goes through fire for his doctrine, what does that prove? Verily, it is more if your own doctrine comes out of your own fire.